thank you so much for joining us.
Mark.
Hello.
Congratulations. If you just want to come and stand over here, that would be great. Thank you so much.
You can choose where to stay.
Yeah, I think the floor is yours tonight. That was some performance. Lamine, who?
No, I think we played really good. I think we deserve since the beginning with the attitude, we do high pressing, then we have the passion to make some passes, to don't lose the ball, and then we are a good players, we score our chances, and we are very happy. I think we deserve this win.
Well, you certainly snuffed Lamine Yamal out of that game. We didn't see anything of him. We were expecting to see so much more of his attacking prowess. How much of that was your game plan personally, or what the manager had asked you to execute tonight?
Well, I think the game plan was really clear. I think we did really well. It's not about me. I think my teammates helped me a lot. I think always they try to give me some help, and this is football. I think this game is 11 against 11. All of us, we try to do...
for the first half anyway.
Yeah, we try to do our best for the team, for the win, and I think today we deserve this moment.
And you're not taking these compliments very well here, are you? You're trying to deflect it onto the team, but 53 games Barcelona have gone without coming away, without scoring. Tonight they did that. It was last December the last time they did that. That's pretty impressive.
That's amazing. I think the last couple of games we improve a bit in defense. We start to have some clean sheets. I think the team win as well, some confidence, and I think this is the way that we need to continue in this way. We are really happy, but I think it's just the beginning. We have a long way to go, and hopefully we can stay in this level.
Mark, congratulations. I thought it was a very impressive performance.
Thank you.
I've got a question for you. When you had Lamine Yamal in front of you, always he's left-footed, and you were quite happy to show him down to the outside, going to the left foot. Obviously, in a way, you were helping and using Caicedo inside if he wanted to go inside. But how confident you were to show Lamine Yamal into his stronger foot?
Yeah, first of all, I'm not happy to see you. But no, I think his left foot is dominant. I think if I invite them to go inside, I think I have my teammates in there, and then I leave the space in his right side is his left, at least his worst foot, and then if he does something with the right, just we need to say congratulations, because with these kind of players we never know. I try to do the game difficult for him, and we have a good result.
And for you, could you tell us, obviously, we know you started at Barcelona, you had an incredible career, you went away, you had to find your way, your position, then you come to the Premier League, and then you come to Chelsea, and today, a night like today, I think that was an example for anyone in football of resilience, of keep going, keep growing. How do you feel personally, not as a footballer, as a human being tonight?
Yeah, I feel very proud. I think it was never easy, the football career. Always we have up and downs, but the most important thing is stay consistency. I think always try to improve, to work hard, and then after these moments, everything makes sense, because we sacrifice a lot of things. When you are young, you need to have maybe a more mature life. You can do all the things that the young people doing, but I think after these nights, after this performance, everything makes sense.
We've spent a long time talking about Estêvão tonight, and perhaps that was a kind of a rival performance, a coming-of-age performance from him. You must see it every day in training, what that young man has.
I think he's a special talent. He's a small guy. I think he always stay happy. He play with a smile. I think we showed today that he enjoy a lot. He try always to do the 1v1s, and he have finally he scored with the right, so we are very happy.
Mark, you know both of them. You know, obviously, Jamal, you know Estêvão. Can you see any similarities, and which one are the main differences between them? I know it's
not
tough
one, but I'm gonna say, there's the most important thing that I love from these players is doesn't matter if they do good the action, but the next one he asks again for the ball. They have a lot of personality. I think, for example, for me, for a defender, this is a tough, because every time you need to stay focused, every time want the ball, every time they can do something special. And I think maybe the main difference is that Estêvão maybe arrived now to the Europe, and they have maybe a few years like back to Lamine, but he showed today that he have a lot of personality.
Physically.
Yeah, and he have a good quality.
He's catching up quickly.
Yeah. I think this is a special guy. I think always with a smile. This kind of Brazilian is very happy. I think his adapt here was really good. We have a good people in the dressing room, so hopefully we can help him and we can.
But Jamal will not have a smile tonight, thanks to you.
Yeah, well,
The next time you join up for Spain, it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, I know. But today I need to do my job, and hopefully these things stay in the pitch, and that's it.
And your family were here tonight, and you grew up a Barcelona fan. What colour shirt were they wearing tonight?
I tell him if they want tickets, they need to wear Chelsea shirt. I don't have some tickets, but no. Hopefully they enjoy. Was a special game for me, for my family, and then we have a good result. So I think hopefully they are proud of it.
Mark, one question that we know that the Premier League, they work the dead ball situation the best in any league in Europe or even in the world. Obviously, when you play against Arsenal, all the top teams, they play the set pieces. That balances up of the season. But do you feel that is a big advantage for you when you play against European sides like today, that you can get a lot of joy in set pieces, in corners? Today you scored the first goal, you had 3 goals disallowed. Do you think it's a big difference in that final third when you play a European side?
Yeah, I think the most different thing is, like, for example, like here the set pieces was in England was very important. When I play in La Liga and this, I never know about the set pieces coaching, and here is very important. We spend some time together to practicing, to make something special in every game, and I think this is another part of the football, because sometimes the game was a bit tough or was a bit difficult to create chances, and maybe with a corner or something you open the game and everything changed.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us in the studio. Congratulations on the win and your performance.
Parabéns, uma noite perfeita para o Chelsea, para você pessoalmente. Congratulations, a perfect night for Chelsea, and for you personally, como você descreveria as suas emoções nesse momento? Estêvão.
Não tem como descrever em uma palavra só. Estou muito feliz por essa noite perfeita, pela vitória, pelo gol. Agradeço muito a Deus por esse momento e vamos seguir em frente em busca do nosso objetivo.
I don't really have any words to sum up how I'm feeling right now. As you said, it really was the perfect night. I'm just grateful to God for making everything happen for me, and onwards and upwards from here. E que golazo, what a goal. Conta para nós sobre este gol desde seu ponto de vista. Talk us through that goal from how you saw it.
Foi muito rápido, eu recebi a bola, cortei pro meio ali, ela ficou meio embaraçando meu pé, mas tive o tempo de cortar para a direita e fazer um gol. Como eu falei, agradeço a Deus por esse momento, um momento muito especial na minha carreira. Agradeço ao Chelsea por tudo que vem fazendo por mim, e agora é seguir forte, que tem muito campeonato ainda.
It was all very quick for me. It just happened before I even knew it. I just found some space and wiggled my way through and then scored that goal. It was such a special moment for me in my career, and hope to score many more. Foi o melhor momento na sua carreira. Was it the best moment in your career?
Sim. Acho que desde que eu comecei no futebol profissional, acho que esse é o meu melhor momento. Fico muito feliz. De novo, agradeço muito a Deus, minha família. É um momento muito especial. Espero que ele dure por muito tempo.
Yes, he says it was definitely the most special moment in my career. I hope I keep scoring more and more for many years, and I'm so happy my family were here as well, watching here. Os torcedores estavam cantando Stevo. The fans were singing Stevo throughout the game. Você se sente uma grande conexão com os torcedores? Do you feel a big connection with the fans here at Chelsea?
Sim, desde que eu cheguei aqui eles me trataram com muito carinho, até hoje, com essa música no final. Cara, eu amo isso, eu amo dar alegria aos torcedores em campo. Muito feliz por fazer o gol e dar alegria para eles. É um momento que eu posso retribuir dentro de campo esse carinho que eles me dão lá fora. Então eu espero que a gente venha fazer longos contatos juntos.
Yes, he said from the moment I arrived here at Chelsea, I felt such a connection with the fans. He said he's just so happy that he could score for them, that he can make them happy, and he hopes he's going to score many more goals for them and keep making them happy. Estêvão, parabéns. Uma noite incrível. What an incredible night for you. Well done.
Obrigado.
Goal and of course with the red card everything changed, so it's not easy against this fantastic team to come back with 10 players, so with 1 player less. So for me, we have to accept this defeat, but I'm also looking very positive for the next games.
En el moment que us quedeu sense Araujo i que part amb amics. Què penses en aquell moment? Què els dius als jugadors de la mitja part? I si esperaves un pas endavant més dels teus futbolistes o una reacció diferent, amb una mentalitat més competitiva?
How I said before, it's not easy against this team. I think I saw also some really positive things from my team, and I'm looking also positive for the next matches, and also for the Champions League. I know we have three matches, the 3 games, 9 points to win, and I'm really looking positive and think positive about this. We can achieve this. But at the end today we also make some big ball lost. This is I think the key also for today. We were not able also in the offense to keep the ball, but also midfield players normally make this mistake. So, but at the end it's a performance from the team. How I said before, I saw also some really positive things, and the other things we have to work on that. But now we also can see I'm happy that Rafinha is back, Marcos is on this level, so Petri will come. It's like that, and we have to work hard. This is always like what we want to do, and how I said, look positive. Yeah.
¿Qué lección debe aprender Araujo? ¿Qué consejos se le puede dar a Araujo para intentar no caer en situaciones como la de intentar evitar o leer mejor situaciones de peligro que eviten expulsiones que condicionan tanto un partido como el?
No, for me it's the first yellow card. I don't know exactly what happens. I have to speak with him, but also I have to see the videos or the game again, analyze it. At the end, the second foul could happen, but also maybe not go down or tackle, or maybe more guide him is the thing what he can do. But at the end, it happens in football. It was not the right moment, not the right game, but it's like it is.
So, as we mentioned earlier, there are 6 Premier League teams who are currently in the top 12 of the Champions League table. That includes 4 in the round of 16 automatic advance spots. As you can see there, Arsenal in 2nd place, Manchester City in 4th, Newcastle in 6th, Liverpool in 8th, followed by Spurs in 10th, and Chelsea in 12th place there. So there is a lot to discuss here, but I guess the basic question that we would be looking at, Jamie, is are we entering now a kind of a Premier League era in the Champions League? Is that something we can say?
I think we can. I don't think we can talk about English teams dominating the Champions League until they win it. Mm-hmm. I think we're at a stage, though, where I think the English teams will find it quite comfortable to get to the latter stages of it. I think that the depth of quality and strength in the Premier League goes a lot deeper than any other league, whereas the other leagues will still have a Real Madrid or Barcelona, maybe PSG, Bayern Munich, who can stop the English teams actually winning it. I think they're on the same level as the English teams, but when you see the English teams, and it takes me back to when myself and Thierry were playing in the late 2000s, where you'd start the Champions League competition and you were pretty much certain that you would be getting to the quarterfinals before you had to really break sweat, or really had to worry about maybe the opposition that you would come up against. So I think we are getting to that stage. And there's something that has been mentioned in, meeting when we've had chats before the show, and I think it's spot on. I don't think we put enough pressure on English teams to win the Champions League in our own country. I think the pressure that's applied to Barcelona and Real Madrid, especially in Spain, it almost feels like a huge failure of the season if they don't win the Champions League, regardless if they win La Liga. Whereas in England, it's a feeling of, okay, but the league is the most important thing. I've always said, and I'll never change my mind on this, the Champions League is a bigger trophy than a domestic league title. And that's not because I won the Champions League and didn't win the Premier League. For me, it's the biggest trophy in club football. And I think we should... Sorry, Micah. I do think we should be a lot tougher on our teams when they go out the competition. Even like Liverpool last season, we just say, okay, it's a cup competition, now you can concentrate on the league. We'll probably say the same about Arsenal this season as well.
No, I just wanted to ask you. You shushed me off then. Is that because of the history of Liverpool and the success in Europe? Why for you? Because as an Englishman, I always wanted to win the Premier League. FA Cup and Premier League, I was done. I was happy with that. Champions League was never a forefront of my mind, but why was it for you?
No, I don't think it was the forefront of my mind when I was playing. As like, it's just got to be about the Champions. What are you two laughing at? Am I stuttering here or something? I mean,
you don't want to know why we're laughing. Trust me. Carry on with what you're doing.
What's going on?
I am listening though. I'm finding it.
Is it rude?
By the way.
No, it wasn't rude.
Let's go.
Okay. Right. Let's get back. Let's get back to
go on.
Let the kids carry on over there.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm waiting for my turn.
For what? Your turn.
I mean, Peter has said I spoke too much at the interview. Shall I just shut up?
No, I enjoyed what you were saying. But why
Champions League is a bigger trophy than the Premier League. End of story.
Why was it special for you?
It's the biggest trophy you can win. End of story. It's not even a debate. Come on, Thierry wants to come in.
No.
What's funny?
No, but it can't be shared now. No. Joking aside, I don't think you can say that the English team are dominating the Champions League right now. And I go with what Jamie was saying. You need to win it to say that. At one point, you had, I think it was 2 to 3 years in a row that you had three teams from England in a semi-final.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you can say you're dominating in a way. But Barca, at one point, I think we went to the final beating English teams on the way. Paris Saint-Germain beat all the English team on the way last year. I just think that, as you said, when you arrive at Barcelona, and the same with you with the history at Liverpool, when you walk into the building, you see the Champions Leagues on the walls, you see people that want it. And if you want to be compared to legends at the club, it has to be by winning the Champions League. That's also something that is different. And in your time, Jamie, also growing up, looking at Liverpool and walking into the team, you know, the champions only used to go and were allowed to play to win that, to say that they're the best. You know, we know that now, the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the sixth. And then England also have more possibility to put teams in the Champions League.
Can I ask you, I always say the team I played against, the team that you played in was the toughest team I ever played against. Mm-hmm. Yeah? In our country, we would never criticise that Arsenal team of yours or the Invincibles for not winning the Champions League. If that was in Spain, that team, I think, would always say, yes, but you never won the Champions League. That doesn't happen in England.
It will be what we would have been called on. But again, like you said something, Michael, that's very interesting, and I'm not having a go. Mm-hmm. Your view when you arrive at City is like, what can I win at City? You're like, okay, maybe, the cup. Mm-hmm. Then suddenly you're like, oh, we can win the league. Mm-hmm. When you arrive in the building at Liverpool, you know the history in Europe. You know, we have an history in Europe at Arsenal, not in the Champions League, yet in terms of winning. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you did believe sometimes at Anfield that you can like turn a game around like against anyone. And playing that team that you won the Champions League with, this is why I think history makes it bigger than what it is sometimes. Your team that won the Champions League in 2005, and you know it, Jimmy, you said it yourself, that's not the best team you play for. Yes, you had players that could change the course of a game, but I played against that team in the league, and I didn't see that belief sometimes playing against you, but you had it in Europe. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so sometimes the place also makes it that if I walk in the street right now, and when I was an Arsenal player, no fans were coming to me and said, you must win the Champions League. When you're at Barcelona and Real Madrid.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. Yes, you're right. I'm saying, do you get called upon that? And you need to win 1 or 2 or 3, even at Madrid, to be considered as a great.
Why do you think it's like that in England, Micah?
I just think growing up, I don't think, maybe for me, because when I come through at Man City, there wasn't a Champions League team. So you come into the team and the FA Youth Cup, I missed out on that, and then I think the goal for me was to win the FA Cup. We did that, and then you start dreaming, the investment comes into the club, it's the league, that's all we talked about. It was never maybe because the Champions League wasn't realistic at the time, but it was all about the league, and then we missed out, got to the Champions League, and then we won the league, and it was just, and if I ask any of my friends or ex-players, always say they'd rather win the league than the Champions League, and that's why when I ask you the question, it intrigues me. It genuinely does. I don't know if that's because of the history of the club or you personally just prefer the Champions League.
I think it'd be interesting to maybe bring Guillem in here, because obviously we know that the teams that were kind of dominant before this Premier League era of dominance were the Spanish teams. So if you're a Spanish football fan, Guillem, and you're watching this happen, do you think it's okay, it's cyclical, it'll come back around? Or are you looking at that financial disparity that exists with the Premier League and La Liga maybe and thinking, well, I don't know how we get this back?
Well, quite clearly, I agree with the guys that English sides should dominate because of finances and quality, but a warning shot here. Number one, Barcelona and Real Madrid have got a new stadium, more income coming in, and they're inviting private money to come in as well, so they'll be competing in the market soon. Number two, in the last 20 years, you would say that the England financial muscle, has been superior to the Spanish one, and yet European titles, 33 for Spain and 16 for England. And finally, the Premier League is living a bubble. In the last 7 years, they've more than doubled in expenses the income that's coming in. So they're spending much more than they have through cash injections, through loans, and bubbles burst. Meanwhile, La Liga, Bundesliga especially, they're becoming sustainable, which means that at some point it all go back to where it was. But meanwhile, in the crisis, we haven't done so bad.
So is it okay then when all the money goes back to Spain? Because remember we had that debate when you were arguing about the English, it was a problem English teams having all the money, but it's okay if it goes back to the way it was with Spain having it and the English Premier League based?
All I'm saying is that be careful what you call for, because if you actually want to be the richest, you better do it in a way that you can sustain it. And if you don't sustain it, we'll catch you. In fact, we're ahead. We'll continue ahead.
We'll be okay, don't worry.
Guillem's back and he wants to fight. Good to see you, Guillem. Thank you.
Mikel Arteta has made it clear that Arsenal will need to unleash their complete player against Bayern Munich. The Gunners host the German champions at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday, and one man in particular could be decisive. Ebereki Eze, described as a very complete player by teammate Mikel Merino, is emerging as one of Arsenal's most dangerous weapons ahead of their Champions League clash with Bayern. The 27-year-old announced himself in North London with a stunning hat-trick in his first derby since arriving in a £67.5 million move from Crystal Palace. His 3 brilliant goals dismantled Tottenham, and truthfully, he could have scored even more. Merino believes every one of Arsenal's 8 summer signings has lifted the squad's level, helping the team build a 6-point lead at the top of the Premier League. But Wednesday's matchup is different. Bayern Munich, the reigning Bundesliga champions, represent the toughest test yet for Arteta's side. Speaking after the win over Spurs, Merino praised Eze's qualities and hinted at the impact he could have in such a high-stakes European battle. "We've brought in a lot of players who can make a difference. But you can see that other teams have spent big as well," the Spain international said. "Individual brilliance can win matches, sure, but in the end, it's the team that matters. If you have great players who don't connect, that's a problem. The good thing about this group is that everyone thinks about the team first." When asked about Eze specifically, Merino didn't hesitate. "I think he's incredibly complete. He can dribble, he can pass, and his technical quality is outstanding. In Spain, we always talk about players who can connect with others. He has that naturally. He grew up with that instinct to link play, move the ball, and build relationships on the pitch. He also has the mindset to get involved, demand the ball, and influence the game. At the same time, he's strong, he can take players on, and he can finish. He's a truly complete signing." Merino also touched on how the modern game often reduces players to simple numbers. "These days everyone judges players by goals and assists, that's just how it is. But as footballers, we see the deeper qualities he brings, the technique, the movement, the intelligence. Even in training, you can tell immediately how special he is. Yes, he's scoring goals, but he's much more than that. He's an exceptional player, and we're incredibly lucky to have him. He can play in several positions and adapt to different systems. He's been a huge addition for Arsenal." Beyond the technical qualities, Merino believes Eze's attitude, and the healthy competition within the squad, will be crucial in Arsenal's title push. You can hear the calm in Ebereki's voice and see it in the way he carries himself. He's confident, grounded, and every morning we sit together in the sauna at the training ground and talk about everything, he added with a smile. "He's a great guy, already fully integrated, and we need players like him. Competition is fierce. There's so much quality in this squad. That's exactly what the manager wanted, as many top players as possible, all ready to play. It makes his decisions tough, choosing who starts and who doesn't, but it also pushes every one of us to give our best in every session. And that's why we're improving as a team. As Arsenal prepare for Bayern's arrival, Arteta is facing one of the most delicate balancing acts of the season. The squad is healthy, competition is fierce, and expectations have never been higher. But behind the scenes, there is a growing sense that Iza's versatility and calm presence may be essential against a Bayern side known for controlling the tempo in big European nights. Arteta himself has hinted at Iza's importance without naming him directly. After the Tottenham victory, the manager spoke about the need for players who can break pressure, dictate rhythm, and stay composed when the game becomes chaotic. Those inside the club believe those comments were aimed at Iza as much as anyone. The coaching staff has been particularly impressed by how quickly he has adapted to Arsenal's positional play structure, a system that demands far more tactical discipline than what he was used to at Crystal Palace. Analysts at the club point to his growing influence not only in the final third, but also in build-up phases, where his ability to glide past pressure could help Arsenal bypass Bayern's aggressive midfield line. There is also an awareness that Bayern's fullbacks tend to push high, leaving spaces between the lines. Iza's skill set, sharp turns, deceptive acceleration, and precise final balls, could be exactly what Arteta needs to exploit those gaps. Outside the club, pundits have already started circling Wednesday's match as a defining moment for the £67.5 million signing. Some believe that if Iza can impose himself on a Champions League quarter-final against Bayern Munich, it will confirm his arrival among Europe's elite creative players. Former players have echoed that sentiment. Several ex-Arsenal figures, speaking on television over the weekend, highlighted the need for someone who can change the temperature of the match with a moment of calm or an unexpected burst of creativity. Iza, they argued, is one of the few in the squad capable of both. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich come into the match with their own confidence. Their midfield trio has been one of the most dominant in Europe this season, and they have shown a repeated ability to suffocate opponents early. That dynamic is precisely why Arteta may lean on Iza's composure. When the game tightens, Arsenal will need a player capable of slowing it down, protecting the ball, and finding solutions in tight spaces. Within Arsenal's dressing room, Mourinho's praise reflects a broader consensus. Senior players have reportedly been struck by Iza's humility and work ethic, qualities that have helped him integrate seamlessly into a squad that already had strong internal chemistry. Staff members describe him as someone who never forces the game, and lets the match come to him, characteristics that could prove invaluable in a high-tension Champions League tie. As kickoff approaches, the narrative surrounding the match has shifted. What began as a test of Arsenal's resilience has quietly become a spotlight on whether Iza can elevate them in Europe the same way he has in the Premier League. For Arteta, the equation is simple. If Arsenal are to overcome Bayern, they will need more than intensity. They will need control. They will need creativity. And increasingly, they will need the completeness Iza brings to every phase of the pitch. Whether he starts in a wide role as a floating midfielder, or even as an interior playmaker, the expectation is the same. Iza will have to find the spaces others cannot, and influence the game in ways that statistics alone will not capture. The stakes are high, the opponent is formidable, and the spotlight is intense. But within the walls of London Coney, the belief is growing that this is exactly the kind of stage Eberechi Iza was signed for. Martin Odegaard is nearing a return to action after suffering a medial collateral ligament injury in Arsenal's 2-0 win over West Ham earlier in October. Yet, 3.5 years after Mikel Arteta named him captain, the Norwegian finds himself in an unfamiliar position. His place in the starting lineup is no longer guaranteed. For the first time since joining the club permanently from Real Madrid in August 2021, there is real debate over whether he remains an automatic choice for Arteta's 11. Odegaard, now 26, has been central to Arsenal's resurgence under Arteta, the conductor who shaped the team's rhythm through some of their most fluid football. But this season, the Gunners have been forced to navigate long stretches without their captain, first due to a shoulder issue that kept him out of 4 matches in September, and then because of a knee collision with West Ham's Crescencio Somerville that sidelined him again. And during his absence, something significant happened. Eberechi Iza stepped into the spotlight. Iza's sensational hat-trick in the North London Derby has complicated the picture. Now thriving in a central role, the England international has given Arsenal a different kind of presence around the edge of the box. A blend of unpredictability, directness, and two-footed confidence that opponents struggle to contain. He may not control games with the same metronomic precision as Odegaard, but he offers a spark, a willingness to take risks at moments when Arsenal need a jolt of creativity. After such a standout performance against Tottenham, It feels almost impossible to imagine Arteta leaving ease out. The manager has always had a soft spot for players riding a wave of confidence, and ease is currently surfing at full height. There was a similar situation back in September, when Mikel Merino was handed a start against Manchester City after scoring 4 times in 2 games for Spain, including a hat-trick against Turkey. Arteta doesn't hesitate to reward form. Ease has carried that form onto the international stage as well, recently scoring a stunning goal for England in a 2-0 win over Serbia in the World Cup qualifiers at Wembley. Though he can play on the left, it has always been clear that Arteta brought him to the Emirates to operate in midfield. And with Declan Rice and Martin Zubamendi near untouchable in the double pivot, the odds of Ease and Odegaard consistently starting together seem slim. That leaves Odegaard in an unfamiliar position. He needs minutes to rebuild sharpness, yet Arsenal's medical team won't rush him. The plan is likely to ease him back through short substitute appearances before restoring him to larger roles. But even once fully fit, Odegaard faces genuine competition, because Ease has shifted the landscape. His arrival has raised the team's ceiling, and his performances have earned him the right to keep his place. Before the dismantling of Tottenham, Ease had scored only twice for Arsenal, one against Port Vale in the Carabao Cup and another versus his former club Crystal Palace, a clever finish that sealed victory. Now, with 5 goals across all competitions, he sits just 1 behind Odegaard's total from last season, when the captain made 45 appearances. Odegaard's 2023-24 numbers were outstanding: 11 goals, 12 assists, influence written across every competition. That is the standard he must match again if he wants to reclaim his spot, because Ease is hungry, confident, and eager to impress ahead of next summer's World Cup. Arteta will insist that Arsenal need both players at their best if they are to meet their ambitions in the months ahead. And with Kai Havertz also working his way back to full fitness, potentially slotting into midfield behind marquee striker Victor Gyökeres, the battle for places has never been fiercer at the Emirates. For Odegaard, the message is clear: he must rise to the challenge. His leadership and quality remain unquestioned, but he can no longer rely on reputation alone. If he embraces the competition and fights his way back into the side, his return could push Arsenal to even greater heights. And if the team has already reached this level without several key figures, the potential for what comes next may be even greater. Inside the club, staff members are quietly acknowledging that Arsenal are entering a new phase, one where no player, not even the captain, is immune to tactical evolution. Arteta has spent the past 2 seasons building a squad capable of sustaining pressure across multiple competitions, and the emergence of Ease is a sign that the manager's long-term planning is beginning to bear fruit. Depth is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. But with depth comes difficult decisions. Arteta has always valued balance in midfield, and the contrasting profiles of Odegaard and Ease force him to reconsider what type of midfield best suits the team's ambitions in Europe and the Premier League. The technical control and spatial awareness that Odegaard brings have defined Arsenal's identity under Arteta. Conversely, Ease's dynamism, physical presence, and unpredictable touches give Arsenal a new dimension, especially against teams that sit deep or defend aggressively in central areas. This internal shift has also caught the attention of analysts and former players. Several pundits have begun to question whether the captaincy should guarantee a place in the lineup, especially at a club with ambitions of challenging for the Champions League. Others argue that Odegaard's leadership is too valuable to sideline, pointing to the standards he sets in training and his influence over younger players. Those debates are already spilling into the media, and they will only intensify as the season progresses. There is also the tactical question of whether Arteta might eventually experiment with a system that accommodates both Ease and Odegaard, something he briefly attempted earlier in the season during the win over West Ham. But with Rice and Zubamendi forming an almost impenetrable midfield pairing, any reshuffle risks destabilizing the defensive structure that has made Arsenal one of the most resilient teams in the league. The manager has hinted that he is open to adjustments, but only if they enhance the team's overall cohesion. For Odegaard himself, the challenge is as much psychological as it is physical. He has worked hard to cultivate an image of calm authority, a leader who raises the level of those around him through clarity and consistency. Now he must show that he can adapt, compete, and respond to adversity. His teammates still speak of him with admiration, describing him as one of the most studious and detail-oriented players at London Coney. They believe that once he regains full rhythm, he will naturally reassert his influence. Yet even they acknowledge that the landscape has shifted. One senior player privately remarked that, "The team is different now, Ease has changed what we can do in the final third." That sentiment reflects not a lack of faith in Odegaard, but an understanding that Arsenal have evolved while he has been sidelined. For Arteta, the ideal scenario is straightforward: a fully fit Odegaard competing with a fully confident ease, creating a level of internal competition that lifts the entire squad. The manager often speaks about the need for healthy tension among his players, pressure that keeps standards high without fracturing unity. The arrival of Victor Gyökeres, combined with the recovery of Havertz, only amplifies that dynamic. Arsenal's season will almost certainly hinge on these midfield decisions. With Champions League knockout matches approaching and the Premier League title race tightening, Arteta must decide not only who starts, but what kind of identity he wants his team to carry into the defining months of the campaign. The next few weeks will reveal whether Odegaard's return sparks a resurgence or a battle for relevance. If he manages to reclaim his place, it could serve as a reminder of why Arteta trusted him with the armband in the first place. If he struggles, it will underline how rapidly Arsenal are progressing, and how little room there is for sentiment at the highest level. Either way, the captain's response will shape not just his future, but the trajectory of a team that believes it is on the brink of something significant.